Thank you.
All right, Sandra, let's dig deeper on this by bringing in Republican Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt, who serves on the Senate Judiciary and Armed Services Committee. It's kind of a jump ball as to where we start, Senator, but why don't we go to Ukraine? Because Zelenskyy appears to have had something of a change of heart, posting on X just a short time ago the following. None of us, he writes, wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. It is time to make things right. We would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive regarding the agreement on minerals and security. Ukraine is ready to sign it in any time and in any convenient format. This comes after the president suspended weapons shipments to Ukraine. Sounds like Zelenskyy may have found religion.
Yeah, I think the key here is getting Zelenskyy and Ukraine really at the table. And the minerals deal is the first step to that. There had been some resistance and difficulties in the weeks prior to that White House meeting on Friday. Zelenskyy specifically wanted that meeting in the Oval Office, and then we all saw what happened. I think he handled himself very poorly. But the facts on the ground remain the facts on the ground. It's time for peace, and you've got a president who wants to help deliver that. He campaigned on it. He's committed to it. So I think the sooner Zelenskyy gets back to the table and talks about really what that looks like, the better. That's the only way this is going to get to a resolution, I think, that honors, the Ukrainian people who are dying. I mean, their thousands are dying every week. Yep. So I think President Trump's the only guy, as I said, who can deliver that peace.
The vice president was on with Sean Hannity last night. He said that during that meeting on Friday, President Trump had been very cordial to Zelenskyy, and then things started to spiral out of control. Listen to how he put it.
He tried to sort of bend over backwards to be gracious and kind to Zelenskyy. Even when Zelenskyy was kind of needling him, there was a lack of respect. There was a certain sense of entitlement. He showed a clear unwillingness to engage in the peace process.
That this idea of a sense of entitlement, you had warned last year that the Biden administration's policy toward Ukraine was putting Ukraine first ahead of the United States of America. Do you think that's kind of the attitude that Zelenskyy had about how the United States is when it comes to Ukraine, and that's the attitude he brought to the Oval Office?
I do, and I think that the other thing that's true is a lot of people tell Zelenskyy, especially in Europe, I was over in Munich just a few weeks ago, they tell him what he wants to hear, and they don't tell him the truth. And the truth of the matter is, now is the time to settle for peace. This is where we're at, and you've got it, like I said, a president that's capable of doing it and delivering. Joe Biden never had any interest in it, and he wasn't capable of delivering it. President Trump can. He got a mandate from the American people. One of the things he talked about pretty consistently was, number one, that war would have never started if he was president. But two, he can deliver peace, and he's been very consistent on that. So again, maybe it was a little bit of a change of pace of what Zelensky's used to hearing, but that's the truth. And I think that the sooner he comes around to that reality, which it sounds like maybe with that tweet this morning or that post this morning, maybe he's recognizing the reality that this is his best shot.
All right, well, we'll see where it goes from here. Now to the idea of tariffs. You probably heard the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, about an hour ago talking about tariffs. In response, President Trump said the following on Truth Social: please explain to Governor Trudeau of Canada that when he puts on a retaliatory tariff on the United States, our reciprocal tariff will immediately be increased by a like amount. This back and forth between the president and the prime minister, who he likes to call the governor of the 51st state, is one thing. But are you concerned about the effect of tariffs on consumers?
Well, look, I think you can look to President Trump's first term when he enacted tariffs on China, right? We took in a couple of $100 billion. Our reliance on China went from about 20% of imports to 13% of imports. So they could be very effective without causing inflation. The truth of the matter, what's going on with Canada is they've been ripping us off for generations, and they've gotten away with it. And you finally have a president that's standing up to this kind of, these trade barriers that have been put in place by Canada for a long time. And now you're seeing record investment now, almost $2 trillion, John, in the first month, whether it's Honda deciding they want to build in the United States, Mercedes-Benz deciding, Apple. So these are generating positive results. But I think the other underlying thing here is they have to do more at the border to stem the tide of fentanyl that's streaming across. He's been pretty consistent about this. Canada has not really moved on this, and I think that's one of the reasons why you see these tariffs going in place that ultimately are meant to address the trade imbalance that we have. Under Joe Biden, the trade deficit went up 200+% in those 4 years with Canada. So we're being treated very unfairly by the Canadians. I think they need to come to the table and drop some of the trade barriers they have, and we'll all be in a much better place.
Well, I'm sure that we're going to hear a lot more about that in the president's speech tonight. Senator, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.